The Call of the Forest by Olga Kass. A modern fairy tale. Ever since childhood, he had dreamed of the forest. Boundless, all-encompassing, alive. The forest was everywhere, and he too was part of it. He heard the wind in the treetops, the whisper of leaves, the creaking of branches. Small creatures rustled in the undergrowth, and countless insects hummed. These were the sounds of life. The shrill ringing of the alarm clock, breaking into that world, felt unnecessary, almost cruel. He opened his eyes and lay still for a few moments, while the forest slowly receded. In its place, another life began to wash over him in heavy waves. He turned his head and saw a woman sleeping beside him. "That is my wife," his mind prompted. He looked at her unfamiliar face for a moment, and then recognition returned. "The alarm clock," his mind insisted. "It is still ringing. Turn it off." He reached out and silenced it, or rather, his body did, while his thoughts were still struggling to catch up with the meaning of it all. Then, louder and louder, the sounds of the vast city began to rise beyond the window. "This is home," his mind whispered. "It has always been noisy. We chose to live here." We, he wondered. Who is we? And again he looked at the woman beside him. Then the usual routine began. He showered, shaved, hurried through breakfast, kissed the children, and ran through the tasks awaiting him at the office so as not to forget anything. He threw himself into it all, as if into a whirlpool. It became hard to breathe. How tired he was of this endless, relentless cycle of city life. He longed for air filled with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. He took his briefcase, pulled on his coat, put on his shoes, and went down to the underground car park. There he got into his car, started the engine, and drove off. He was in a hurry, yet something was different that day. The oncoming cars frightened him. The sharp smell of petrol made him uneasy. Still, he gripped the steering wheel tighter and continued to drive. After all, there was an important meeting ahead. He did not notice that he had taken the wrong direction. The road led him out of the city. He kept driving. The traffic thinned, and the concrete buildings gave way to open fields. Suddenly, his hand moved of its own accord and turned on the radio. Why are people disappearing? The only thing linking these cases are abandoned cars found by the roadside, said the announcer. We have invited the chief of police to explain. Sir, what is happening? After a brief pause, a deep voice replied, It is nothing more than rumor. People have vivid imaginations. A few city dwellers went walking and lost their way in the forest. That is all. There is no cause for alarm. The words were clear, yet they would not form a whole. Still, he felt that neither the announcer nor the man speaking were telling the truth. His hand reached out again and switched off the radio. He drove on. At last, in the distance he saw the green tops of trees. Only then did he understand where he was going. Into the forest. Why, he wondered. What about work? Home? The children? My wife? There was no answer. He lowered the window, and the air rushed in, the smell of tarmac, but beneath it something deeper. Pine needles, damp earth. At the edge of the forest, he turned onto a narrow country lane, drove a little further, and stopped the car. What am I doing here? For a moment, fear seized him. He wanted to turn back, to return to everything familiar and safe. Instead, he loosened his grip on the wheel, opened the door, and stepped out. The wind moved through the treetops. Leaves whispered. Branches creaked. The scent of earth and pine surrounded him. He felt at peace. No more thinking. No more choosing. He kicked off his shoes and began to walk, then to run. Soon it felt strange to move on two legs. He dropped to all fours. It was easier that way. His clothes, now too large, slipped from him, but he did not feel cold. His body was already covered in thick fur. After running a short distance, he stopped and listened. The forest spoke, through wind, leaves, and hidden life. How beautiful it was! For a brief moment, the faces of his children flashed before him. What will they think when they find the car and my clothes? He felt a sudden urge to laugh. The thought faded. None of it mattered now. He was free. No need to think, to plan, to measure. He felt no hunger, no thirst, and if he did, the forest would provide a clear stream, a small creature to catch. For this was the forest, alive, boundless, all-encompassing. And now, it was his world.